Hi, welcome back to Let's Build. Well, it was only top 6 2 days in a row to get a Rapid GT Classic, so this is me winning the second race. And here in the garage we have our Rapid GT Classic. This is not the first time I've won one of these, and last time I tried to decide whether it was Aston Martin or Jensen. I tried to build it as both, and I pretty much gave up because it has such a muddled identity. I made a video out of that, and I really would like you to watch it below. It's very short, but it goes through all my thoughts on the car and which bits come from which car, which I don't want to repeat here. I didn't keep that series running, by the way. I thought it was overly negative, but it certainly serves its purpose here. So I've been challenged. What am I going to do? Well, I did think about an Aston race car, because there's quite a few liveries, but none of them were convincing or matching any photos I could see. I thought about maybe a Jensen Interceptor race car, but they didn't seem to exist. So after a lot of Googling, I found this, a Supercharged Jensen Interceptor. Obviously a bit of a custom job, but at least it's a real world car. And to be honest, this car has always looked more Jensen than Aston to me, despite missing that trademark sort of bubble rear window. So this is the car we're going to try and build. I'm not sure at this stage I'm even going to keep the car again, so I will be doing no armour, no performance parts, no bulletproof tyres. We're just looking at the cosmetics. Starting with the front bumper, we want to go stock because you can see everything else adds further degrees of splitter, and as far as I can see the car on here has no real splitter, it just tucks under the front bumper. Interceptors have rear bumpers without overriders, and every other bumper on here has some form of overrider, so we'll just stay with the stock rear bumper. Moving on to the hood, we are of course looking for the supercharger, the blower, and here it is. It says sacrilege hood with blower. Well, it is a sacrilege I think on a Jensen Interceptor, but it's not much sacrilege on a Rapid GT Classic, with it being a bit of a mongrel, so I'm not worried about that. So we'll select that. All the other options simply add either the other sort of intake or exhausts coming out of the bonnet, which obviously we don't want. Headlight covers, I wish they added further headlights, but they don't. So onto hood catches. Now I think I can see the hood catches on the front corners on that photo. I can't get a better photo, the article it links to doesn't work, so let's assume it's not my imagination. I'm going to put the front edge hoop catches on. Lights I suggest you leave yellowy. We're not using a livery here, but why not at least see what comes with the car. So they're not too bad, are they? And some of them do look like race liveries if you want to make some from a race car, even if it's not quite a real one. Moving on to the mirrors, standard Jensens do have a sort of squarish chrome mirror. So we're going to stay with the stock one because although the one we can see has no mirrors, there is no option for no mirrors. Obviously remember to pop your own number plate on, and then moving on to the respray. Well, the car looks like a sort of bare lacquered metal, so I'm going straight into the metals and see what we've got. And brushed steel looks pretty good, and you know, I'm still tempted by that one, but then brushed aluminium is a bit paler and does look a bit closer. So overall it's not even expensive. Let's go brushed aluminium, and of course the bonnet is the secondary on this car, so we'll carry that over. The trim, I think black is a good colour to leave the trim, so that's fine on the interior. Do stick your crew emblem then on the door. I completely forgot. I really meant to stick it on there. It would have been the 01 from the General Lee, but we need something to be like the car in the photo, so that was my mistake here. We don't want a roll cage, and the roof stays stock because although I'd like a red roof, all we actually get with the roof options here are sun strips. So moving on down the list to skirts, that sticking out skirt is in fact what you get from a Jensen anyway, so that's great. We just want to paint it in the same metal colour, so primary painted skirts works there. Onto the spoiler, well, the car doesn't have an extra spoiler, and if you look at these they're all a bit too bold, so no spoiler. I do apologise, this was the moment that my hard drive that I was recording on ran out of space and I didn't realise, so suddenly the build is completed, but it did give us a chance to go back and take a look at that crew logo. And what I discovered was the crew logo goes onto the bonnet. It doesn't go onto the doors. You can see it there. So in fact, it didn't matter. There's no livery that does what I want with such a minor thing on the door, so I'm going to move on. Sport suspension is the one I think works the most. It has the top of the tyre just disappearing to the arches, which is what we see on the car on the photo. Ignoring transmission and turbo, we go to wheels. I wanted tyre writing and I wanted lots of tyres. I went into the muscle class. I wanted a slightly different texture inside the wheel, but when you're running all black, I don't think it matters too much. I've gone for Dodman in the end. I think it gives about the right sort of look. It's also pretty cheap. So I say painted in black, but you can see stock wheels are wider, and I always find that very annoying when they do that in GTA. I don't know why they do that. Tyre design you pick, of course, and you don't want any tinted windows. So that completes the build. Let's take it outside and have a look. Now here it is, and here's the picture also to compare to. What do you think? You know my thoughts on this. I'm very mixed up, the same as the car. I feel I've done about the best I can for this car, but maybe you think not. Maybe you see enough Jensen or enough Aston in there that there are builds that you think would work more. And if there are, please do tell me down below. I'd love to hear that. And hey, maybe it's something we could even try. The car's quite oversteery, by the way, so now it's scratched. So I'm taking it back to my nightclub now. I'm going to pop it in with a collection of custom cars, which at least like this is how I think it is most suited, but whether I'm keeping it or not, I don't know. This is a bit of a bonus video. I'm just bunging it out quickly with no cinematics or anything like that, just so that you've got a chance still to win this in the rest of the event week if you want to. If you enjoyed it at all, I'd love a comment or a like. A like would be really good. And if you like real cars in GTA, do consider a subscription. It would be very, very much appreciated. Otherwise, and as always, thank you so much for watching.